Welcome to Awakened Sovereignty, a solo cast on ascension, shadow work, empowerment, and alignment with your highest purpose. I'm Chris Pinckley, spiritual coach and guide for those moving through deep awakening, transformation, and personal evolution. Let's begin. In this episode, I'm going to talk about this timeline split, the new Earth and the old Earth, the 5D Earth and the 3D Earth. This is actually a pretty convoluted topic. There are a lot of people who think they fully understand this. Some are pretty close, some not so much. And part of the problem is that nobody really actually knows for sure. I feel that I have a pretty high level understanding of it, but I don't know for sure. And I would probably avoid people who say that this is exactly what's going to happen as if they know 100% for sure. My baseline theory on it is that because the Earth is ascending this time around, this vibrational acceleration, this period of ascension, in the past it was just localized populations like Atlantis and other populace, other localized either groups of people or cities or what have you, areas, regions. But this time it's the entire Earth. So the Earth is moving up into fifth dimension, and she's going to go through some changes, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. And there are those of us doing the work who are going to, we're coming along for the ride, moving into fifth dimensional light bodies, part physical, part light, infusing the body with light, right? And the three-dimensional Earth is going to potentially come to an end. And the inhabitants on the three-dimensional Earth would disincarnate. Now, there are a lot of specifics and nuances to this. The first thing is, well, what happens to the 3D people that, get left behind or just don't do the work or whatever? Do they carry on? And the likely answer is that they will be faced with disincarnation and they will reincarnate onto another 3D planet similar to Earth. But there are different levels of this, right? And these are the people that a lot of people refer to as NPCs or whatever. And that's not really the right term because they're just unawakened. They have souls, they're just unawakened. But the problem is that if they're unawakened during a time like this, then they sort of kind of plug into the hive mind collective and they become a little bit of an enemy to people on the awakening path. Without intending it, they're just part of the hive mind collective. They're turned off, they're not present. They're not really there. But they do have souls. They're just not activated. The higher self has said, we're not going to make it this time. Let's just turn off and then we'll just carry on. We'll disincarnate and reincarnate on another 3D planet. Now, there are different levels to this game because there are a whole group of people on this planet who are calling out for something completely different in the negative. And there's a group of people that really want to experience being locked down, being controlled. They don't want other people to be able to express themselves creatively. They don't like creative freedom. They essentially want, and generally it's unconscious and they're unbeknownst to themselves, but they're calling out for the entire planet to become kind of a giant North Korea, in essence. And they're completely ignorant of it consciously, but there's this compulsion and this desire that to feel locked down, to feel completely controlled. It's almost like I want to feel safe, so lock me down. And there are tons and tons, millions and millions, perhaps even a couple billion people calling out for this, who just really, really want to experience being locked in your house, having tanks rolling up and down the street, right? So, and I'm no one to judge. I'm aware of it. I see it. But what I am also aware of is that I believe that there is a planet for these people, and it's a 3D planet, but it's a much denser 3D planet, and it is an entire sort of, I don't know, socialist. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's almost like an actual prison planet. And some people said the Earth is a prison planet, but it's nothing compared to what it could be, given the right or wrong circumstances, however you say it. But this planet, I believe. And I believe there's endless planets, but I believe that it exists. And I believe that there are a large group of people who are going to disincarnate and not just go to another 3D planet to carry on, but they're going to go actually to a much denser 3D planet where they can experience what they've been calling out for, which is to be totally dominated and totally controlled. Now, it's definitely not my intention to scare anybody, but I believe that anybody who's listening to this and understanding this material is not in any of those other. I believe that you're probably, if you're listening to this and you're drawn to this, you're probably on the ascendant path. So there's nothing to worry about. But it is good to be aware. So to take it one step further, there is another group. So this creates 4 groups of people that will be either, disincarnating or reincarnating or moving up, but changing octaves vibrationally or shifting their physical bodies in some way. And the 4th group are going to be comprised of people who are essentially nefarious, that want to control, dominate, want to attack, want to brutalize people, want to manipulate, coerce, dominate. Basically, all the people who are essentially a menace to the general populace. And those people, of course, are going to disincarnate, and then they will reincarnate in a more like a hellscape type of a realm. A lot of people are like, well, hell doesn't actually exist. And, the argument is really kind of nil and void because the earth doesn't really exist either. It's a hologram, right? Everything's a hologram. But when somebody punches you in the face or you get a life-threatening illness, it feels very real, right? And I assure you that lower realm feels very real for somebody that goes there or has to experience that because of their deeds and what they've done to other people and the planet and beings in general. And so there will be people who will likely disincarnate and will find themselves in this realm, and they'll be there for as long as it takes to burn through the need to dominate or hurt other people or, needlessly harm animals or the planet or just be destructive in general. They'll be there for as long as it takes to burn through that. They won't be trapped there forever. There is the argument that some people are unsalvageable, and they some souls will have to be recycled. I don't know about that, but I do believe that there are potential 4 destination points coming up when we do hit critical mass. So in the meantime, what do you do? How do you assure that you're going to be in 5th density? Well, I mean, first of all, like I said, I think if you're listening to this material, you're understanding it, you're absorbing it, you're probably on the ascendant path. You're probably already there, right? If you're guided to this, led to this material, you're probably already slated for that. You do want to make sure to do the emotional work to release emotional density. Don't suppress your emotion. Allow yourself to purge any emotion that comes up. You do want to do as much meditation, and you do want to work on doing breath work and really feeling love and activating your heart. You also want to be not to deplete yourself, but you do want to be of service. You want to make sure that, it is within your heart to help as many people as you can and help the planet as much as you can. It should be part of who you are. But again, if this is you, then it's probably already likely a part of your makeup. It's probably already, and essentially who you are as a soul, as a human being. Most of the people on the ascendant path, or maybe even all of them, already are oriented in that way and already, desire to help as many people as they can in any way that they can. And again, I don't mean in a deleterious way where you're like martyrizing yourself, but I mean like any opportunity that you can to help somebody or somebody in need or an animal or the planet, you're going to do it. And that's just part of who you are. Another way of saying this is you probably don't have to worry about that. You're probably already oriented in you may already be oriented and doing all the things that you're guided to do. You might have been guided here. You may be guided to other videos by other people or episodes or podcasts. And generally speaking, the higher self isn't going to sit by and just let you, not make it. It's going to start nudging you to do the things that you need to do to prepare for what's coming and make sure that you're able to, make the transition when the shift happens. So I think that'll do it for this episode. As I always say, take good care, and we'll talk to you soon. If this episode resonated with what you're moving through, and you're interested in private spiritual coaching around awakening, emotional integration, shadow work, relationships, boundaries, or building a soul-led life and business, email me directly at rc101coaching@gmail.com with the word coaching in the subject line. You can also find the contact link in the show notes. Follow Awaken Sovereignty for future episodes and share this with someone moving through their own awakening. This is Chris Pinckley. Stay awake, stay aligned, stay sovereign.